Hello Cancer, this is Victoria from Mindful Bamboo and this is your December tarot forecast. We're going to take a look at your love life, your career and workspace, and we'll get you some guidance from the universe on how to best navigate the energies of the months of December. At the end, I'll put some messages from your person of interest to yourself. Okay, let's get started, and I always start with an oracle card of guidance, and today is going to be the Sacred Traveler Oracle. So let's see what we have for you. What do we have for Cancer in the months of December? We have winter solstice happening in December, which is a pretty big event astronomically, astrological. I will be doing a separate reading for that. I'm going back into posting more readings on this channel apart from just the monthlies. So I might do it in a separate channel though, I don't know yet. So I have some videos on mindfulness and maybe I'll put astrology on it too, just so that YouTube is a little bit more clear on the content that I'm posting. And I hope you like my setup. It's a little bit of Christmas, a little bit of bamboo, a little bit of everything. Okay, Cancer, so you've got traveling lightly, simplify your life. That's interesting. Let me actually read from the book. I like this very much. Simplify your life is great. Let me just see. Sometimes I'm just guided to read. Release what doesn't support you. A busy life and the accumulation of more than you need creates static. Clear internal and external clutter. Do what matters and release the rest to find peace, grace, and stillness. Simplify your life. Otherwise, it's difficult to hear the voice of the Creator. Create time to rest and rejuvenate. Yeah, and then the Sacred Traveler wants you to know that we often gather things that don't support us. It's time to say goodbye to fellow travelers, situations, and objects that don't bring out the best in you. Keep what works and let go of the rest. Doing what is essential and releasing everything else is one of the fastest ways to align with the tranquil vibration of the spiritual realm. Clear things from your schedule that do not advance your life forward. Even a small amount of this cleansing can make an immense difference. Okay, let's get started with tarot. I've got my Muse Tarot with me today, which is a pretty abstract deck, I would say, but it's beautiful. Its artwork is impressive, and I like how this kind of different take on tarot helps find additional meanings in the cards that you know all too well. For love life, we have 7 of Emotions, 4 of Inspiration, wow, 11 card, and the Hermit. You could be dealing with a Virgo. For your work, we have 3 of Emotions, we have 5 of Voices, and 6 of Emotions. Interesting. And then the advice, Muse of Voices. A lot of air energy here. The Fool. You could be dealing with an Aquarius. And Knight of Materials. Bottom of the deck, the Lovers. Yeah, so love energy should be your motto in the month of December. That's what I can tell of you, Cancer. And since you are driven so much by feelings and emotions, I feel like this is your merit and this is your element, really. And what I mean by that is that you're supposed to exercise a loving approach in whatever it is, whichever context, whichever situation you get into. And that includes how you treat yourself. Physically, emotionally, energetically, all of it. Yes, somebody needed to hear that. That's where love starts. That's how you bring more of that loving energy from the outside. When you start treating yourself like a king or a queen inside. On the inside, well, you know what I mean, towards yourself. When you do that to yourself, then more of that vibration and energy comes from the outside. And yes, it looks like with this card, you may have felt overwhelmed with a lot of things happening around. And December, for a lot of people, is a hustle before the holidays, whichever holidays you celebrate. because you're preparing, I don't know, outfits, arrangements, rituals, food, gifts. Sorry, guys. So there's a lot going on usually in this month, and it's really difficult to prioritize yourself above all of those obligations, responsibilities, chores, and things where you feel like other people depend on you a lot, right? But that's the trick to it. That's how you learn, right? And this is definitely a story beyond this video to try and explain how you can turn things around, even with seemingly all too important things that you can't deprioritize or delegate or skip or whatever, but you can, right? That's the challenge here that I see. That's general. It can be around any and all areas of your life, and it feels like it kind of covers all areas of your life. Whew. For your love relationship, yeah, there is an opportunity or there is a desire for a long-term commitment, right? But you definitely want to make sure, I like that this is like the options card, right? But it has like golden fish here. Like you want to make sure that you chose, you know, like when you come to a pet store, when you see a lot of fish, for example, in a tank, and you're supposed to pick just one that you're going to take home with you. And I know it sounds kind of cheesy and not very loving, but you know, the idea is the same. Like you want to make sure you've chosen a partner, you have already chosen a partner if you have, or you want to choose a partner that will be worthy, the Four of Wands, the 11-11, right? The happily ever after, the everything together. Like, is that life partner material or not, right? You want to make sure you get it right. So there is a lot of contemplation on it in the month of December. You may want to also do your research, have a practical approach to kind of ground those feelings and emotions, because this is the emotions card, right? And you are driven by emotions. So it's very important not to get carried away too much into that extreme, right? But be specific of what your must-haves are, or non-negotiables, as Gabby Bernstein calls them, right? What is it that you're looking for? What kind of life do you want to create with that person? That's where Hermit energy is going to help you to find time. And again, this is during the time when you're busy and overwhelmed and there's just a lot happening. That's how you simplify your life. You find time for yourself. Do whatever makes you happy, yourself, right? And that's when you can get into that vibration of dreaming your life partner dream into your reality, right? Regardless of whether that person is already in your life or they're not. It's still important because things can change around so quickly and it can become so much more fulfilling that you don't even know, right? But again, it starts with the steps that you're supposed to take. Because the universe needs to know what to bring to you, right? For your career space, yeah, there are some interesting dynamics where you're supposed to be careful with who you trust and what you cling towards. Or, you know, again, there may be some emotions in the air, some unpleasant emotions, but on the one hand, it can bring you back to inner child work and remembering what is this triggering you, like on a deeper level, if you are into that kind of story. But, or at least this is me telling you that this goes beyond the impact that a specific person at work has on you at this moment in time, right? Another part is like, especially with this card, I'm sensing that illusion is relevant. You see, like all these three people are kind of the same person, and I'm getting that you may be working with other people, but there is a competition vibe here, and not necessarily in a good way. Like everybody's trying to show themselves. It's like, you know, when you have a swimming competition, like obviously everybody wants to be number one and there's only one spot for that number one. So of course everybody's showing their best, but because we're all humans with our own blocks, limitations, insecurities, it can go into unhealthy ways. So just be mindful of that. Protect your energy. And again, don't spread yourself too thin, because that's actually the point where it's the hardest to determine this kind of energy and be able to act on it before it's too late, right? At some point, of course, if you keep ignoring it, it's gonna blow up in your face, right? But the consequences will be much more severe. So it's a good idea to kind of do a check once in a while to see where you are and whether that collaboration with other people, let's call it that way, whether it's healthy. Okay, and the advice, of course, with the Fool, with the Muse of Voices, and with the Knight of Materials, is like starting a new life pretty much, right? Like you're speaking your life into, your dream life into existence. As long as you believe it, as long as you know that that's what you're ready for, right? And you know it may take a while, but you are committed to stick to this plan, to stick to this path. It's gonna happen for you, no matter what the dream is. This is amazing. I love this already. Like, and the Muse of Swords, the Muse of Voices, sorry, of Swords. Yes, this is the King of Swords energy. But I actually love that it's the Muse in this deck, right? Because this is the inspiration from the air element, right? On how your thoughts then manifesting into your life events, relationships, everything, right? How the way you communicate about yourself and your life story impacts, like what you say about your past and present impacts directly your future, and you'll be able to see that. And if you don't want to go that deep, I'm just telling you, right? Be careful with how you talk about your life to others, right? Whether you are speaking about this dream coming up and dream life coming up, or that you're already living a dream life, right? Like that's what it's going to be. If you're going to focus on challenges and hardships, maybe because that's what other people do, that's what the focus will become for you. And before you know it, you'll find yourself just fighting different battles and having to deal with all these issues, not because you want to, not because you created them. Well, you kind of did energetically, but that's what you spoke about, so that's what your life gets more of, gets full of, right? That's what becomes the center of attention, so to speak. Okay, let me pull a card about this Knight of Materials. What kind of action will be required here? Give me more information on the Knight of Materials for Cancer. Temperance and to inspiration. Yeah, so be patient. And I mean, Knight of Pentacles kind of tells you that from a minor kind of perspective, what you were expected to do. Temperance is more of a... Temperance is a major arcana, so it's more of a divine guidance, right? But essentially, right? It's about being patient and doing things in divine timing, right? Those things happen in divine timing. Trust in that, right? Trusting that the choices are made according to the current vibration, right? Even if it seems like maybe the result of your efforts is not that big and you're considering, maybe I should have made a different choice, or I should have picked a different partner for this business venture or something, right? Like just know that things are happening the way they're supposed to happen, and have patience. Keep working the steps, one foot in front of the other. Okay, messages for Cancer from their person of interest. Whoa. Okay, we've got Four of Pentacles, which has a Death card in this case. This is actually a pretty powerful card. Wow, Seven of Swords. Anything else? It's all about transformation internally. Oh, and Knight of Pentacles. This is, I mean, I cannot say these are the best cards to get from a love partner. But this, first of all, there is a synchronicity with Knight of Pentacles, which means that your person is also approaching this journey with you as like one day at a time, and I'm just going to follow the guidance, do the steps, and I'll have to believe that it's going to get me to where I want to be with Cancer, right? But more importantly, with these cards, although they're usually more about like holding back, not like putting the walls up, and also being secretive or trying to do shortcuts. Like, yeah, and maybe this was the case in the past, whether it was with you or with somebody else. But guess what? This is transforming because first of all, they're getting the taste of their own medicine here. So the karma is hitting them hard. right? And they can see how they've wronged you or other people in their life with that approach. And with this one, because death is here, it's a complete transformation of the ego of trying to kind of hold back and be in a safe spot and kind of like look at the outside world as it's hostile and full of dangers, especially when it comes to the opposite sex, whatever that is, whether this is a man or a woman, right? Like, that's one of the stereotypes we live by both ways, right? Like, women are dangerous, so like, oh, men will definitely play you on this, right? This is changing that the other person is trying to trick you, to get your money, to manipulate you, whatever, right? Like, this is huge. So your person is definitely working on themselves, possibly with a divine intervention in hand, but this is happening and this is something to celebrate. And maybe you're saying, well, I didn't know them when that happened, so it's hard for me to tell the difference. But this is for you, at least energetically, to admit that, to, I don't know, support them, cheer them on, right? Notice. And know that if things aren't moving very fast between the two of you, it's because they want to get it right and because they are following the guidance that they see from the universe on what the steps should be, what the speed should be, what kind of horse to choose, what kind of cape to wear or armor to wear, right? Like, it's all divinely orchestrated and things will fall together at the right time, especially if this is your person, right? Because you got the 4 wands here, so you are manifesting it, right? And then again, if you speak about that connectedness between the two of you, that actually things start happening more on their side when you're more aligned on your side. And that's one thing that you can do to possibly speed things up or move them in a certain direction as you want them to move, without manipulation intent, right? Just so that things develop naturally. Okay, I hope this has been good for you, Cancer. I think I'm gonna leave it here. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe the video. Also, these videos are for Sun, Moon, Ascendant, and Venus, so make sure to check readings for your other placements. I'm almost done with publishing the reading, so yeah, even if you don't see the reading for your sign, it's coming up very soon. I love you guys.